Testing, 1, 2. I need to know if everyone in this room, there was a book in the back. Did everyone sign in that is in this meeting? Did everyone sign in on the sheet? Okay, if you don't mind, would you please come up here? Thank you. Can you reach over that table? I'm sorry. I see how it is. Y'all let the lady go first to say she didn't sign, and then you come. They'll let you look. Yeah, no, you're not. You're not the only one, so you did good.
I started to sign it.
Yeah, you're leading the parade.
I tell you what, let me make it easier for y'all. Put it right there on the end of that table, and you won't have to stretch as far. How about that? Just sign right over there, please. Notice when you are signing that there is a place to the far right. When we have our public input, if you choose to want to speak, then you can at that time. If you have signed prior to me hitting the gavel, please. And we have exactly 1 minute. I'll tell you what, guys, here's another sheet.
Just be sure you give it back.
Think you need that? Especially if it's one of those that writes good.
I can tell you that.
That is that one, and then I have the front sheet to it right here. Okay. Need a pen, Miss Angela? Let you borrow one. Thank you, sir.
Which are there?
I think that's one of theirs. Mine is over there on that table. Leslie, if you will, come sign in, please. Yeah, right there on the bottom. That's fine. Okay, it's fine. Thank you. It is officially 5:31, and I'm going to call the November Ozark City Council meeting to order at this time. Tonight I have asked our elite Miss Franklin County, Taylor Skolarski, to come and give our pledge. And before we get started with that, tomorrow is Veterans Day, and I would like to know if we have any veterans in the audience at this time. And if we do, would you please stand? Okay, if y'all will come right up here to the front for just a moment, please. Don't be shy. If you're a veteran, please, we'd like for you to come to the front. If you'll turn around and face the audience, please. In recognition of your faithful service and unwavering devotion to our nation, with courage, compassion, and integrity, you have protected our freedom, upheld the honor of those who serve beside you, and inspired others to do the same. Your strength preserves the spirit of America, and your sacrifice will never be forgotten. Gentlemen, we thank you for your service. We thank you that you gave and went above and beyond, and we cannot thank you enough. And because of that freedom is what we can do tonight, what we do. And Taylor, if you will come.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You'll remain standing, please. Our Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you for the men and women that have sacrificed so much for us to be able to do what we're going to be doing here tonight. Lord, so many times we don't give them the recognition that they deserve. Help us each and every day to be mindful of that. Lord, I just thank you for each and every one that are here tonight. I thank you for those that serve in a public servant position. Lord, you know, you see that that is not, nor has it ever been, one of the easiest things to do. That's why we look to you for guidance. We look to you to help us do the right things. Lord, I just thank you. I thank you for being there each and every day for us in all that we do. Lord, just be with each and every one tonight as they make their way home. In your name I pray. Amen. Okay, Susan, if you will do our roll call, please.
Meyer,
Here.
Minor,
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Maker,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
We have a copy of the October 13th City Council meeting notes. If you will, if we have any corrections, approval is needed for that. I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
I need a second, please.
I'll second it.
Maker,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Minor.
Yes.
On October the 20th, we had a special city council meeting, and that was for Resolution 2025-6. That was in the sale of the old model cafe. So you have those meeting notes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Melton,
Yes.
Maker,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Next, you have your financials. Do we have any corrections or questions on any of that?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion on the floor to approve. I need a second, please.
I'll second.
Tyler,
Yes.
Maker,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
And next in your packet, you have a copy of the department head reports. Does anybody have any questions? Nick is on vacation this week. I think everyone else is here. Yes. So do you have any questions or comments on any of those reports they have for you? Okay. If not, we will move to committee and commission reports. Mr. Melton, I'll let you go first with the street and water report, please.
All right, on the last meeting we had was October the 21st. We met, basically, it was to cover possible financing of our water infrastructure needs, our critical needs in Ozark at this time. We've got some things that were determined, some improvements by our engineering firm of Hawkins Weir that we feel like we need to get on as soon as possible. So we have had them to come up with a list of what we needed. We talked about that. The approximate amount for this, just for the needs here in Ozark at this time, is $22.9 million. It's a lot of money, and we're trying to figure out a way to take care of this without impacting our citizens any more than we have to, because I know it's tough when you have any kind of rate increase, and unfortunately, we will probably be looking at some form of an increase in this. I think we've come up with a couple of options, thanks to our bond financing man, Mr. Bob Wright. He's come up with some ideas for us that might be, I think it'll be a lot better. I'm gonna turn this over to Bob at this time and kind of let him give you some ideas on what we're looking at for these projects here in the city.
Mayor, council, appreciate it. Bob Wright with Cruz and Associates. If I was a betting man, I know these people are not here to hear a bank talk all night, so I promise not to take long. The mayor, Randy, Cody, staff, we've met for hours, and we've gone through a significant amount of numbers, some projections, some options. As Randy said, there's $22.9 to $23 million of identified capital improvements your water and sewer system needs that has nothing to do with the prison. This is all city needs that have to be done. And we've been working for months on this and looking at some options. I handed out, and we've probably gone through 40 or 50 pages of data in meetings and phone calls. I've summarized this for y'all tonight to answer any questions and kind of show you conceptually what we're talking about. There's no actions that we need tonight, but it's really just to kind of update you as to what we presented to the mayor, Randy, and staff, to show you going into next year the best way to keep the rates off of the ratepayers of Ozark. And that was our main goal. I handed out before the meeting that first page. This is really just to show you if the water and sewer system needs $23 million of improvements. Normally you would look at, and as we've done, I've worked, I'm sitting there talking to Mayor McDaniel, worked with y'all since the late 80s. Even predate Vernon on working with the city. We've done quite a few water and sewer financings over the years. Nothing that approaches $23 million. So what we're looking at on the first page is based on your water and sewer audits. And we take your revenues of 2.2 million, your operating expenses of 2.1, so you had a bottom line operating income of $94,000. But when you look at the audit, there's a line item depreciation. That's an accounting measure. That's not a physical funding mechanism. You add that back to the mix. So basically in 2024, you collected revenues from the citizens of Ozark and businesses, operated the system, and had $659,000 left available to pay your mortgage, the debt on the system. The current debt right now in the system, annual principal and interest, the mortgage is $446,000. So your margins, your debt coverage is 148% or 1.48 times. That's good, that's healthy, no problems whatsoever. Add in $23 million of principal and interest on top of that, and that changes the formula. Instead of $446,000 mortgage per year, that jumps to $1.7 million. That's what the annual, over 30 years, that's what the annual principal and interest is to pay for that large of a project. So all of a sudden your margins, your coverage is it's in the red. It's well below 1-to-1 times. If there's, and we'd have to go through, the engineer has to do a rate study and things like that. There's approximately 1,670 meters in Ozark. If we funded the whole $23 million with on the backs of the ratepayers, and there's about 1,670 meters, that would be a $73 per month minimum rate increase to be able to pay for that mortgage. Obviously, no one can afford that. That's kind of unattainable. So that, when they gave me the numbers and said, this is what we need, we can't avoid this, what do? We looked at that $73, like what are the other options? So we started looking at the sales tax that we did back in 2016. This facility, the pool facility, things like that, and the fire station and fire equipment, is what the voters of Ozark passed to use that tax to do some city quality of life, capital improvements, things like that. That debt is still outstanding. You can go back to the voters probably a year from now, so next November, go back to the voters and say, you've got this existing tax. We have to do these water and sewer improvements. We can either put it on your water and sewer rates, $73, thereabouts, or if you allow us to repurpose this existing tax, no new tax, just let us take it from paying this debt toward to apply toward the new $23 million project. That greatly reduces what you'd have to get off of your ratepayers. You can't get $23 million from that tax, at least right now. We've got another year of data and collections, but you can get about $15.5 million from if they repledge, the voters repledge that tax to a new deal. So that greatly reduces from 23 million down to about 7.5 million, what you have to borrow on the ratepayers. So that is the approach that if we went to the voters a year from now, asked them to repurpose that, and then at the same time, whatever that balance that's remaining to get the 23 million, we issued water and sewer debt. You still have the collections of the tax to help pay the operations of the facility here, so no change there. If the voters say no on that tax, the tax doesn't disappear, it's gonna remain outstanding. But you're just asking them, go to the polls, vote, so that we don't have to collect out of your monthly paycheck. And the last page on this 4-page handout really is the impact. Instead of $73 per month, right now, and this is gonna change because we've got another year of interest rate movement, sales tax collections, things like that. But instead of $73, if the voters approve that and you issued the balance in water and sewer revenue debt, it would be about $9 to $10 per month charge on the ratepayers to be able to take care of all 23 million. So that's kind of the thinking, is the plan for y'all to kind of think about and to say, what is the best for, you know, Mr. and Ms. Smith out in the city of Ozark? $73, or let's get the, you know, the education out there to say, you're paying the tax. Look what we've done with it in the past. Look what we're going to do for it right now, and we're going to increase our improvements to our system by 23 million, with only about a $9 to $10 per month rate increase on your bill. And that, again, a rate study is going to detail that out a bit more. So that's just kind of basic math to say 1,600 meters, you need this amount of revenue, $10. So answer any questions for y'all tonight. No action needed tonight. We got plenty of time next year to kind of move into and prepare for an election if y'all decide to go that way next November. So it's probably next late spring, early summer when we would come back with election ordinance, things like that. Give y'all plenty of time if you decided to be able to talk to your constituents, talk to the public, to say, here's what we're doing. And again, in distress, same tax you're paying. Let the people that are driving up and down the interstate, you know, that are stopping and getting gas and paying and eating and all that, let them help pay for your projects instead of everybody in Ozark alone.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I noticed, Bob, the amount you got on this is actually about $5 less than we first talked about.
It is.
So
Right.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is, and you know, we're sharpening the pencil just to really say, right now, if we were able to do all this today, it's gonna be less than $10 per month.
Okay.
But again, interest rates can move. The collections, if the collections on the tax are down, that $10 is probably gonna go to, you know, 12 to 15. But that's what we did look at, you know, to start, was about a $15 per month minimum charge. Again, that doesn't take into account your charging River South, you know, and I'm just counting that as 1 meter. So there's ways to lessen the impact of the fixed income, the elderly, those people that truly can't even afford the $10 per month. That is a big impact on people. But there's ways we can look with the engineers and with the rate study how to kind of spread that out to generate the revenue we need.
And hopefully in the future, hopefully interest rates might come down, or we could even refinance these bonds at a cheaper rate, which we have done in the past.
Absolutely. No,
And
we've
definitely
saved
helps us
y'all a lot of money
Yes.
over the last number of decades, and
Right.
you know, so if rates are lower this time next year, which the anticipation is they're supposed to be, but you never know. That's the unknown here. So this is just the concept to kind of let y'all know what we're looking at, what we've been working on. Again, no decisions tonight. Answer any questions, but probably as y'all discuss this over the next number of months, come back again late spring, revisit this, look at what it is, and then start talking about the ordinances that would need to be in place to take it to the voters in November.
Okay, somebody have any questions for him from the council?
Thanks very much, Bob.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate your help on this.
Stick around for a little bit and watch this.
Thank you. Let's see, who else meeting?
I did, but
It,
we were supposed to have fire and police meeting, but the chief had a emergency police run he had to do,
okay,
and he didn't have anything anyway, and Nick didn't have anything.
okay.
So we never even come in the building, we just waited around outside to make sure no citizens showed up for that meeting, and we went back home.
There you go. Those are the kind you like. Okay. All right, if nothing else, we did not have an, planning commission meeting this month, so we do not have a commission report from them. Kevy, would you like to do a report from the A&P Commission? Is there anything from your meeting tonight or anything you want, that you feel like you want to discuss at this point?
I just think that we're making very good progress, and I'm proud of the hire that we made, and I think that people can really see the social media impact and things going on in Ozark, and other cities kind of mimicking us, in which, you know, that's the best form of a compliment that you can give, is someone to mimic you. So I'm proud of where we're going.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for your hard work. Okay, under old business, first is the A&P chair, Maddie, but Maddie had a commitment come up tonight, and so Kevy Harbor, who is the commissioner for the A&P.
I'm the chair of A&P.
Yes.
So I spoke to the commission, or the council last month about representation for the A&P by the city attorney. We've told that he doesn't represent our commission. So I asked to see that in writing and asked Roxy, and we never did get that. So we started looking into it and we got some information back from the Municipal League, and the Municipal League said since he's not elected and he's been appointed, that he needs to have a contract or an ordinance. So we started looking at things and investigating it, and all we could find was a resolution, and it's Resolution 2019-3, and it just allows the mayor to get in contract with the city attorney, with Kevin Barham. Anyway, so then we couldn't find a contract. So basically, just to summarize it, I've spoke on this a little more at the last meeting, but to summarize it, I've asked the council, like, we need, y'all need to get in contract, define a scope of work. Please have him like represent all committees, all for the city and all city business. And if he doesn't want to do that, then I recommend that they seek another attorney.
Mr.
And that's all I have to say is I really thought that by this meeting, we might already have a contract and maybe get it in place, because knowing that we aren't in contract.
I will tell you that Mr. Barham has spent the last 3 weeks since our meeting in the hospital. And per doctor's note, we've not even been able to get into contact with him. So I'm going to give him the floor at this time.
Thank you,
So I don't know if you
Mayor.
want it here or over there, wherever you want it, sir.
Let me start by saying, first of all, no one from the Advertising and Promotion Commission has ever contacted me. No one for the Advertising and Promotion Commission has ever called my office, not once. Maddie has my cell number. I'm good friends with her mother. She knows me. But no one has ever contacted me and requested any kind of advice or any kind of assistance whatsoever. But let me tell you this. First of all, the Advertising and Promotion Commission was established by an ordinance from this body pursuant to an Arkansas statute which allows the creation of an independent commission to administer a sales tax that has to be approved by the voters. All of that has been done. But the key to all of this is the independency of the commission. They are independent. They are nominated and approved nominated by the mayor and approved by the council, but they are an independent commission. They have their own budget. They have their own revenues. The city council doesn't have anything to say or do about what they do with their revenues pursuant to the statute because of the independency of that commission. And so I can tell you from my investigation that the Advertising and Promotion Commission draws about $16,000 more or less each month from their sales tax that was passed by this body and approved by the voters. That amounts to almost $200,000 per year that they have in their budget for advertising and promotion. Besides that, there is an additional almost $500,000 that they've got squirreled away in their kitty. So for this year, they've got $700,000 that they control that you don't control, and you have no say over it. But the Advertising and Promotion Commission and their independency has the full and complete say over it. And there's a reason why that's independent, because the legislature wants the stakeholders, the people that own and manage restaurants, people that own and manage hotels, to be independent. They're the ones with the stake. They're the ones that should decide how to promote this city and how to spend this tax. So the council has the authority to put on the contracted city attorney whatever duties the council desires. At the present, my duties are to counsel and advise the city council and the mayor and the clerk, and to prosecute in district court all the violations that are alleged of city law. I spend a lot of time doing that, and you all are paying me about $41,000 a year. I don't know what the A&P Commission wants or needs with an attorney because nobody has asked me any questions. So I don't know what it is that's so important that they need to contact me when nobody has contacted me. But I can tell you this year alone, in February and March, the Advertising and Promotion Commission decided on their own, on their independent nature, to be a proponent of an ordinance to establish an entertainment district in the downtown Ozark. And against great public opposition, with over 350 signatures on a petition to refer that measure to the voters, that was the controversy. And who had to settle that controversy was the city council. So you tell me how a lawyer is going to advise the proponent of a measure and then come back and advise the deliberative body that has to decide whether that proponency is going to be passed or not passed. It's an automatic conflict. And so if you tell me I have to represent the A&P Commission, then you're going to end up hiring an independent counsel when something comes up of that nature again, and they're going to have to end up hiring an independent counsel. They have money. Why should the city pay for their administrative expense in them carrying out their duties when the statute allows them that administrative expense as part of their expenditures? So you've got an independent commission asking the city to provide them a free legal service, is what it boils down to. And what that also boils down to is probably at least a 20%, maybe 30% increase in the amount of time that that lawyer's going to have to spend in carrying out the duties that you set forth. So before you vote to add that to the duties of the city attorney, you need to think about whether it's okay that that city attorney is going to have to recuse from advising you on matters pertaining to the A&P Commission, because there are times when you're not, I mean, they're independent. There are times when you have to deliberate what it is they want. And you can't do that with one person representing both. A man can't serve two masters. There are ethical rules involved in all of that. So before you vote to do it, or to have me do it, you need to think about that and what's best for the citizens of the city of Ozark. Is it better for me to advise the council and continue doing what I've been doing for 7 years in a very good way? Or do we need to add to it to represent some independent commission that has its own money for administrative expenses, which they're glad to spend on administrative expenses? They pay their director over $50,000 a year. That's all I've got to say.
I have something to say. You say we didn't contact you. Angela and I met with you, and you told us you would not answer our questions.
You and who met with me?
Angela
In Roxy's office.
and Roxy Hall.
I
We met
wasn't
with
aware.
you
I wasn't
in the
aware.
Roxy's office.
Okay, I didn't recall that.
Okay, well, I wanted to make that clear first, and you did not want to answer our questions. Second thing is, whether you represent the A&P or not, you decide what you want to do, because it's your best interest to do the least amount of work for the most amount of money, and it's the city's best interest for you to do the most amount of work for the least amount of money. So you're talking conflicts, there's a conflict right there. Thank you.
All right, this is November, and yes, we have not had a contract. We've had a verbal contract that was discussed in several meetings of what his job duties are, his responsibilities are. But like I said, this last month, every one of you on this council know he's been out of pocket. So if you want us to come up with a contract between now and January 1, we can do that, or we can get one ready to go into place for January 1. It's a unique situation with him not being elected, and we've discussed that the past 2 terms. Some of you were there when he came on in 2019.
I can tell you, it's not that unusual a question, because
To not.
there are many cities of this size that don't have a resident lawyer
Right.
that's willing to take on the work. There's not many lawyers, number one, that are qualified to do this work. I've got over 35 years in municipal government experience, municipal law and municipal government law. What I want the council to decide tonight is whether that contract is gonna include representation of the independent body of the A&P Commission or not. And if it is, then I'll do a contract and get it to Roxy tomorrow. But I encourage you to think twice about it, because there is a potential for conflict. And the reason for that is because the legislature crafted this as an independent commission with money to operate and do their thing. And they've got the money to operate, and they have the ability to go contract with whoever the heck they want to contract with in order to have their questions answered.
So
But if you're gonna add that on the same salary that I'm on now, I can tell you this, I'm probably not gonna be at it very long.
So I'm opening the floor up to the council
I got a
for
question.
discussion.
Are we talking just A&P or?
Hey, hang on, I need you to speak up, and I've heard you holler, so I need you to be louder so home can hear. Okay,
Are
Go
we
ahead,
talking just
Lee.
A&P, or are we gonna be talking about the other city committees and stuff?
I
too?
represent all the other committees. I mean, if it's a council committee and you need me, I come, if I'm notified.
I'm asking like stuff like Main Street and stuff like that.
Main Street is an independent, it's not even a city organization, it is a nonprofit.
nor is the chamber.
I just wanna know where we're going, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
We're
No,
discussing
those are
one.
I don't think you can add those if you wanted to, because they have nothing to do with the city.
But
The commission is only established by the city, but is yet independent.
And like he said, those are state guidelines, because the A&P, it requires, the state says you have to have 2 council members set on the A&P. And technically,
And 5 other members.
right,
So does that not take the independent away from it since there's council sitting on it?
no. This is just a state guideline that you have to follow for that.
Do you have a copy of that?
key to the whole thing is the independent.
Yes.
If it's an independent commission, then it has to be independent from the city. The city controls it in a way that they made an ordinance and created it.
And the voters passed it because you had to take that before the voters to imply, or take that tax on.
Right.
Yes. But that was as far as the city obligations go.
Well, my understanding is, and I'd like for you to read that.
Oh. Because we have people at home, y'all have to remember that.
Okay, so I would like you to read that information from, if you have a state statute or whatever you're calling it, I would like to see that. My understanding, the finances are separate, but that's the part that was separate. So I would like to see that, and maybe you need to get a municipal league ruling on that. But also, whether you do represent A&P or not, it still is that you're not in compliance because you don't have a contract with your attorney outlining the scope of his job
Contracts can
duties.
be oral.
Okay, but are y'all gonna argue it?
I'm not gonna argue with you, no ma'am.
I say regardless if you do, A&P or not, we still need a contract.
Okay. I'll put one in writing.
What are all your duties, Kevin?
My duties, as I understand them, are to counsel the elected officials of the city and to counsel the city council when you sit as a council, and to represent the city if it is sued, and represent the city in a suit if it is brought by the city, which I've done numerous occasions. And I will tell you, the cleanup ordinance has been a horrible deal for the city attorney, because I've ended up in court several times, and I've got 5 now piled up to do. I mean, you're pushing the limits on what one city attorney can do, particularly by adding another independent commission to that list. But that is what my duty is, and to prosecute cases of the city that are filed in district court. And I also get those that are appealed to circuit court. So there's another couple of days a month that I spend in court for the city, because I have to appear at those docket calls or have someone for me.
So you said you will you're not gonna do it tomorrow because we're off tomorrow. You are too, I'm assuming. So by Friday, you will have a contract for me?
Yep.
And
But I want to know whether the city council wants me to include the A&P commission or not. I wish we'd have a up and down vote on it.
I'll be honest with you, tonight at this time, after your speech, which I agree with some of your bullet points, I'd like to do a little more investigating on this myself.
so let me ask
Lauren
you
has
this.
written the municipal league and asked this question. And Caleb Alexander, who's an attorney with the league, was kind enough to copy me on the email that he sent to Lauren, because he and I had discussed this matter before, and other matters pertaining to the city attorney's duties.
And what
so
was their
forth.
response?
But there is an email out there that could be forwarded to the rest of the council.
I would appreciate that.
Okay.
And with that in mind, I'll make a motion to table this for tonight.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor to table this discussion, and we will get the council a copy of the response back from Caleb.
I'll second.
It will not be tomorrow.
I have
Remember,
it.
we're off.
If somebody can go copy it, I've got it right here.
Marla, where are you? Would you go do that, please?
It's the same email that y'all received a copy of last, I guess it was here.
That's okay, I'd still like more
Yeah,
time to.
yeah, it's the same one that y'all did receive last month. We printed it
We're
for
gonna
y'all.
do a contract, I'd like to council to see the provisions of it before we finalize something.
Right, right.
The job description and what we expect from the city attorney.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor and a second. Susan, would you call roll, please?
Meyer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Maker,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Okay, next is the resolution 2025-1 discussion. In our Water and Street Committee meeting, I spoke to the committee at that time. Let me back up and say, we are not here to change anything in that resolution, okay? It had been brought to my attention that Rural South had been contacted more than twice regarding their water service to the prison. Thankfully, Mr. Jack Wells kept saying, you've got to talk to Ozark, you have got to talk to the water superintendent. He gave them our personal cell phone numbers, he gave them the city numbers. We never heard from them, okay? And this was a continuation. They would keep calling. 1 week they called Jack 3 times. Can you service us water? Can you get us water? His response was the same every time. I'll be honest with you, I got very frustrated because I wasn't going to reach out to them, because if they wanted to talk to us, they needed to call here, okay? So I will say that in a meeting that I was in Fort Smith and a meeting that I was in Clarksville, the prison came up and I said, no one has bothered to take the time to call Ozark, that's where Rural South gets their water. No one has contacted us. Well, evidently someone in that meeting, one of the two, I'm not sure which meeting, but I get a phone call and it was, Mayor, the reason you are not hearing from anyone is because of the resolution that the council put in place. So what you need to do is write a letter stating that you would want to talk to someone, that they would come and talk to you, because they weren't going to waste their time after this resolution was in place. Well, I'm going to tell you in this room, I'm not sure how some of you all operate. I sometimes have enough trouble over here on this side of the river. I'm not and will not write a letter without these guys' permission, because let me tell you, regardless what people think, they're the ones that do the voting. I just do what they tell me to do, okay? So I was not, and the gentleman on the phone said, oh, you can write a letter, it's no big deal. I will not, and that is why we're here tonight. And the reason is just for them. It's not to change the resolution, it is just for them to say, go ahead and write a letter and say we will talk to someone. We've not even heard what their options are. You all heard Mr. Wright. We need help over here. I personally, I know our citizens cannot handle a $73 increase. And I'm going to tell you, some of our citizens cannot handle a $15 increase. So that is where we stand. I'm opening the floor up to the council.
Mayor, I had a call today. That's a question about the call that you received. And the question was, whoever contacted you, were they an official representative of the prison project or the governor's office, or?
No, they just have some connections through that, and it got back to them. That was the reason we haven't been contacted. It was not anyone with Department of Correction. It was not. And once this has gotten out that they had said that, some people have said, yeah, that's the reason they're not going to talk to you. You read our ordinance, and I understand why they wouldn't come and talk to us, because they know we stated in the, was it 2025-1 that, and that it's in your packet there. Kevin, do you mind to read that for us, please? Just so the audience, yeah, or the resolution, just so the people here.
It's Resolution 25-1. Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Ozark, Arkansas, a resolution entitled, A resolution opposing the construction of a prison facility in Franklin County, Arkansas, whereas the state of Arkansas announced a plan to build a 3,000-bed prison facility in rural Franklin County, and whereas the city council of the city of Ozark believes that the existing infrastructure, roads, water, and sewer are drastically insufficient to support such a massive facility, and whereas the city council of the city of Ozark believes that the planned penitentiary will put a great and severe strain on the budget of the city of Ozark as to police and fire protection and water services in the area, will adversely affect the residents and communities in Franklin County. Now therefore, it is further resolved, Section 1, that the city council of the city of Ozark opposes the proposed penitentiary development action and requests that the state of Arkansas, the governor, and agency involved reconsider the decision.
That was passed on February the 10th of 2025.
So I'm gonna ask if you made the comment, which I agree with, we were not going to reach out to them,
No.
right? I mean, they need to reach out to us if that's a discussion that they wanted to have. So, in essence, is sending the letter telling them, we want you to reach out to us.
We're kind of basing this on hearsay. I mean, like, really, we haven't had an official request. I haven't talked to anybody, and mayor hasn't, evidently, so who's talked to somebody that's really wanting this? That's what I think we need. If they want to talk to us, they need to at least say, hey, this is what we want, this is who I am, this is who I represent, before we move very much forward with this. You know, as far as the resolution, we're all still against it as far as what it stands for. We don't agree with how it was done. I know I don't. Can't speak for the rest of y'all. I think you feel the same way, or we wouldn't have passed this. At the same time, you know, we are still looking at problems here in our city, and the part that we're talking about financing tonight has nothing to do with what they're wanting. So I want that to be clear. We do not have the capacity, even if we have these infrastructures in place that need to be repaired, we still couldn't do what they're wanting us to do. It's gonna take, and this is a guess from our engineers, it was like $90 million for a water treatment facility to upgrade it, and that was earlier this year. The way costs increased, you know, who knows how much it's gonna be. So you're looking at an astronomical amount of money just to be able to get water to the river bridge here. And, you know, that's something, like I mentioned earlier, this is a poor community. It's gonna be tough to pass this part for the $22.9 million that we're needing really bad right now. So,
Roy, can you come up here, please? This is our water superintendent, Roy Sampley. If the council has any questions for you, or if there's any comment you would like to say on this, please. And just so y'all know, he does not like to speak in public, so I'm gonna be in trouble. It's a good thing we're off tomorrow. I'll have to provide donuts Wednesday. So you have any comments on?
Well, I mean, it's just like Randy said with the money situation, that the 23.9 has nothing to do with anything that would require us to be able to do that, you know, to get water to the bridge.
That's just to maintain what we have, not counting any kind of expansion.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that 90 million, that's nothing to do with the prison, that's just what we need done here, so.
At what capacity do we run today, water output wise? What we produce as opposed to?
About 3 to 4 million a day, gallons a day.
we're about 85%
85.
capacity.
Yeah, we're like to the point where we need to start doing upgrades in the health department.
And I don't know if this is accurate, it's just something I read. It was estimated 300 to 500,000 additional gallons for a prison of that size. I don't know if that's accurate information, but I did read that.
Yeah, it is. 150 gallons a day per person.
What, I mean, obviously, even with our upgrades that we're talking about now, could our system handle something of that size or no?
That would just the engineers would have to look at that information. I mean,
After speaking with River South, even if we had that capable on our side to the river bridge, they don't have the capability of getting that water to the prison project.
Right.
They said, based on engineers' estimates, and that's another thing, I'm not even gonna go into the figures that they threw out, cause that's second, third-hand information, but it is a big bunch of money that they're gonna take to do that. And I guess what I'm saying is, I think there's so many steps involved in this before you can ever get to a point of doing anything that, you know, I don't mind talking about it, and I don't want people to think that I'm ready to just take this and run with it, cause I'm not. But at the same time, if there was a possibility that we could, you know, help our citizens over here in the 4 water districts that we provide water to, we would have to at least have a conversation with them. Not saying that we would do it, but I think we need to, you know, have an open mind on that. And I'm not trying to push something on you people in Charleston. Believe me, I feel your pain, I really do.
From a business standpoint, it's our job to listen to what they got to say, but they need to ask us.
Yeah, this hearsay is not gonna get it from me.
They're probably just as stubborn as I was. I'm not going to call them and say, hey, what, you wanna come talk to us?
Right.
I'm
Well, I
not.
understand.
You have either a water department employee now or a former one getting on one of our Facebook pages stating you are having secret meetings with the governor.
I can tell you right now, she and I have not shared any airspace at all or telephone.
And
Yeah.
I will blast names.
Is it a current, well, we'll talk about that. Hang on, I can tell you, no, we have not.
I'm
No.
just saying, you either have a.
Whether it be text, phone, no.
I don't live over here anymore.
Yep. Yeah.
So, I guess the point where we're at right now is we've had somebody requested something that we really don't know who they are or what they're with or who they're with. And I think until time that we do find out something, I think this is too important to go on hearsay. We need to be, everything needs to be up on the table, that everybody knows
And-
who's asking, what they're asking, and when they're asking it for.
And this could very possibly, obviously, you see, we have media here. This could cause them to pick up the phone and call.
Well,
I-
somebody with some
again-
accountability that, you know,
Right.
yeah, we ain't gonna answer the question.
But because that was brought to my attention and I got the phone call, I was not gonna sit on it.
Right. Well, that's-
Especially not keeping it from you as a council.
Well, you
I wasn't gonna do it.
You did the right thing. But whoever, if somebody has some stroke, they need to call and put it on the table.
Listen, Roy and I, our thing every day, pretty much at least twice a week. Have you got a phone call? Have you heard from anybody? I mean, that's,
Well, I got a phone call that was 2 or 3, well, a month ago, talking about this whole thing, and that the prison was gonna happen, and, you know, that the state was there to, you know, they might be able to help us with our water problem. But, you know, it's a anonymous tip. It wasn't, you know, doesn't count for a whole lot. If somebody from the state really wants to know, they need to stand up and wave their hand.
This is the reason they're in the position they are now, I think, because they didn't come out and be open to start
From the
with.
beginning, right. I mean, I can understand you can't tell somebody you're fixing to buy a piece of land, because then the price fixing to go up. But all the other things that go along with it, you know, you can't sneak around, and which strikes me as what they're doing.
so
My
what,
opinion is
I
we need
started
to,
to
we
say,
need to
y'all,
wait.
y'all do it and I'll do
We
what I'm
need to
told.
wait, we need to let them approach us in an official manner, and then we'll go from there. I think that's what we need to do.
You doing that in a form of motion?
I make a motion that we wait till we hear from an official, in an official capacity, from the prison project or the governor's office, before we make any move forward to have any kind of conversation with them.
I'll second.
Susan, call the roll, please.
Tyler,
Yes.
Maker,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Okay, we have no other old business. Under new business, it is time for us, for Marla, to be able to write checks for, I know it's gonna be right around the corner, for Christmas bonuses. So what are the wishes of the council? Last year, it was 200. And that is after taxes are taken, it was an actual 200 for full-time.
I think 200 again, don't y'all?
Okay, and then part-time,
I have a question when we come to that.
You have the floor.
Part-time gets what?
the part-time got half.
Half?
Mhm.
I thought it was only 75 last year.
I've lost my treasure. Where are you? I can't see you. Okay, don't hide out. I'll put you up here by Vernon if you're not careful.
It was 75 forever, but this
Past,
year.
it went, yes, it went to 100 for part-time and full-time was 200.
Right.
And that, I mean, that was what they took home.
Yeah, that was after
Yes,
that.
after taxes.
My question is, we pay, our volunteer firefighters get the same thing as a full-time employee. And they're not even actual city employees. Why can we not give our part-time the same as our full-time if we're doing it for our fire departments and stuff?
That's been the way that
They're on call 24/7. That's what was told to me back years ago, the fire is on call 24/7, and our part-time people are not on call. They've got their set full hours, or so many hours that they work or whatever, but that's, because I asked the same question when they hired me 2 years ago.
How much of an impact financially would it be different? Roughly.
Well, it's gonna be, your part-time are gonna be the ones that are in your community centers. So Brooke, how many, rough, what do you have part-time? I started 17.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 part-time in the street department that come at, from 12 to 4 in the afternoon. So
So
you're
we're
looking
talking-
at 19 people.
So $1,900 difference.
Sarah.
Yes.
So 2,000.
$2,000.
I
what
just
you're looking
feel
at.
that if we're giving Christmas bonuses, it should be a bonus straight across.
Then I
Because
guess you need to
our
make
par-
that motion and we'll see how it goes.
Our part-time people, that's their position, I understand they're part-time, but they're there when we need them too. And a lot of them work our holidays and stuff too for us throughout the year. I make a motion that Christmas bonus is even for everybody across at the 200 take-home.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor for Christmas bonuses for all employees to be $200. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Susan, call the roll, please.
Melton,
Yes.
Maker,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
On behalf of the city employees, I will say thank you for the Christmas bonus. Next is the 2024 Water Department audit. And as you see, Roy stayed up here with us. You all have received a copy of the audit, which that was his first one, and he did great. I think he was a little nervous when they all showed up, but I was very pleased with him, and it was a good audit. So does anybody have any questions, anything you want to talk to him about?
I think the things that we had were basically housekeeping, accounting issues that I don't know if that was something that you didn't have any, that weren't in there at the time that these were done, like the depreciation and issues like that. And I noticed one, and then one of the things with the bank on the, we need to be collateralized because we're over the FDIC minimum.
Yes.
For that, that's something I think the bank is gonna look at. So basically, everything else is just just kind of a accounting, stuff that can be
Yeah.
cleaned up without any problem, so.
There's a few things miscoded was
Yeah.
mainly what they found in the FDIC. I do need to get a hold of today's bank.
Yeah, they'll have to do that for you.
And send to get some security pledges over the 250.
Yes, absolutely. But other than that, I think it's fine. It looks good to me. I've looked through it, so.
You gonna make a motion to approve it?
I make a motion to approve it. Thank you, Kevin.
I will second it.
Harris,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yeah.
Baker,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
And while he is up here, I do want to tell y'all that he is doing a fantastic job. I'm very pleased. He's working well with his crew. Unfortunately, they've had more breaks. It's like every time my phone rings and it's him, it's like, where's the break now? It is basically where we're at. And
That's why we need the money for the.
that's right, yeah. And if you've not been out on one of those water breaks, I would highly encourage, we'll put you on a call and you can go out there with us. Of course, I will say it's bad when they tell me to get out of the way, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, so. But thank you, and thank you to your crew. We appreciate you. All right, so next is public input. Please be reminded that public input is 3 minutes, and the council nor myself can talk or respond. So we will start with our first one on our list is Beverly Fox. So if you'll come to the podium, let me get my phone.
I think I can speak louder than anybody can with that microphone.
Challenge is on.
I know I'm back here asking my table partner, what are they saying? Maybe I need hearing aids. I'm at that age. I was here because of the information being provided about the water, the prison, and the water situation. And I decided I was coming as a soldier to step up in the fight for our wonderful late Senator Gary Stubblefield, because he fought tooth and nail against this. And we should be standing behind him because we, and I know I speak for a lot of others, we are against this. We are against the prison. We the people need to be heard and our desires considered. As taxpayers, voters, and residents of Franklin County, I know I'm speaking for others that are against what our governor is doing and has done behind our backs. No transparency. If Ozark agrees to provide or help provide water to or for the prison project, it will be detrimental to our community. Water pressure will be decreased in Ozark and other outlying areas that depend on it. Rates will go up as well, as property insurance, because there won't be the resources to be able to, for our fire departments to respond and put out water. Our residents can't afford increases for what would come from this. That's just to name a few. Elections have consequences. You were chosen to represent the people and our needs, not politicians. Our lives and livelihood are at stake. We have to protect the future for children and grandchildren. Do the right thing. Tell the governor no. It's an agenda. It's not about the people. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Cody Sosby, you are next.
That was excellent. Thank you. My name's Cody Sosby, Mayor and Council. Thank y'all for letting us come with public input. Mine is very short and simple, and I do speak for a lot of the people that are against this prison. We were denied so many things when this started, but transparency and just the ability to come together and talk this out. We had none of that. And I think that's been one of the biggest problems. We live this every day, this prison. We know who's gonna lie to you. We know and I don't take that lightly, that's a tough word. But they've done it to us, just bald-faced lie to us. We know that they're gonna come to you guys and offer y'all the world. They're gonna put it on a silver platter. And just because we know them, we work with them. We FOIA their emails, we know their schedule. So in short, we would love to communicate with y'all. I told Mr. Melton before we started, anytime, and this goes for anybody on the council and your water department, anytime y'all have any questions, we will drive over here as quick as we can. We'll meet you as quick as we can. And the research that some of these people have done is beyond amazing. But we worry when we enter into talks, we worry about that. We worry what they're gonna say, what they're gonna do to y'all, because we've had that the last year of zero transparency, and we've watched them through the emails tell stories, call us names, not us, everyone in this county, everyone in this area. Let me back up, say that. And so we just, my deal is we want to communicate. I don't know anybody in this room that would not sit down with each one of y'all and give y'all every piece of information you need to know, and especially if you do enter into talks. I get that. I do agree that y'all represent constituents that you have to talk to. That's part of this deal. But the information, anything you guys need, anybody in this room will meet you, I say 24/7. It's that important to us. So, but I appreciate y'all letting us have this time, and let it go back to you. Thank you. Mayor, also, our Veterans Day Parade is tomorrow at 2:30 in Charleston, so everybody.
Is it gonna be safe for me to be over there is what I wanna know.
Everybody's invited.
I know. You know I'm kidding you. I've been the last, 5 years? And I will tell you all, if you don't have anything to do tomorrow we have one at 10, and tomorrow theirs is at 2:30. It's probably one of my most rewarding times is get to see how we honor our veterans, and the kids are out there all excited, so come out and join us. T.F. White.
I'm probably going to be a little all over the place. It seems like I come and I try to reach out and I try to help, and it just seems like I get kicked down, and there's an issue. So I did want to bring attention to the council. I went over ordinance number 23-12 and ordinance number 25-1, and nowhere is it addressed in a special meeting that you can't have public input. It didn't have public input on the agenda for the special meeting, okay? But it didn't have adjournment either. Sometimes maybe some folks ought to look at that ordinance, the 23-12, and go back over and think about demeanor and the way people are treated sometimes too. Another thing, when we look back and we look at some of the land deals that have been done by the city council, there's at least 4 of them in the last few years. An outsider looking in is a little sketchy. And it's just been done, it's been decided. There's been very little talk about it, very little coordination among other groups. It seems with Ozark, we tend to be reactive instead of proactive. And it's really good to hear some of the folks here that come here to support not having the prison here and so forth. And one of the things that I've been talking to people about is we don't even have a plan. We never had a plan of what if it does come? What if it doesn't? And by not planning, we see ourselves in a position where there was a headline in the graphic earlier this summer that said we needed $99 million worth of repairs on the water department. That didn't happen overnight, right? And we're talking about 22.9 right now. And that's just to take care of ours. But we don't have a plan to go and say, what if the prison does come? How does it affect our water? What if the prison does come? How does it affect our local jobs and our loss of workers? We don't have a plan for how Ozark grows. We don't have a plan for where we should do different kinds of housing and how we attract other businesses and so forth. So I would argue that we should be a lot more proactive than reactive. It's funny hearing how divided we are and hearing all of a sudden we're talking about AI in a lot of different channels here. And just one parting thought here. Sometimes people that we first think might be disruptors may end up being innovators. If you don't like the way that analysis is done by that one person, put together a committee and find out. There's a lot of information that's accessible for you to get some statistical measures and guesstimates of how the prison will affect our area, how it won't, how the closure of different resources, like some of the plants that we have in Ozark, if we don't have the water to be able to take care of them, how it could affect. So I just urge you to be more proactive than reactive, and thank you for the time.
Okay, Miss Teresa White.
I yield my time.
Okay. Let's see, Wade and Susan Dunn.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, and furthermore, for the veterans, I appreciate you. I thank you for your service. I ran for state representative 3 years ago, and one of the things I said as I knocked on doors then was I didn't serve in the military, and it wasn't that important then. But the older I've gotten, I have a lot of regret for that. And part of the reason I ran then, and part of the reason I'm running now, is that service. That's not the same as serving in the military, but it is something that I can do at this point in my life. And again, my name is Wade Dunn. I'm running for Senate District 26. That's my wife, Susan, over there. We've been married 43 years. We got married as, just youngsters. I've been in business for 45 years, 25 years in Pepsi, and 20 years in small business. Gary Stubblefield was a great friend. I loved Gary Stubblefield. Gary Stubblefield loved me. He loved Susan. I am very humbled that Amber and Kathy reached out to me to convince me to run. And when Amber told me, she said, Wade, you're the only one that we feel like that can carry out what Dad was doing. That's about as humbling as you can get from a man like Gary Stubblefield's daughter. So I'm going to do that. I'll never be Gary Stubblefield. But I'll promise you, I'll spend every hour, every minute trying my best to be. I'm very conservative. You won't find a more conservative person. I'm against this boondoggle what's going on over here. And this whole conversation tonight sounds just like a continuation of what's been going on for the last year. It's absolutely insane. That whole thing didn't just happen. That was planned, the phone call from somebody that didn't have authority. That was all planned. There's more strategy behind that than we realized. It's sneaky, it's backhanded, it's just like the whole thing to start with. So, I promise you, I will represent you in a constitutional conservative way. I'm 100% pro-life. I'm 100% Second Amendment. I will serve God first and the citizens of Senate District 26 second. I need your help. I need your support. Thank you.
Mr. Huey, you're next. Huey, Jason Huey.
Thank you, Mayor Hall. Thank you, Council, for affording me the opportunity to speak to you tonight. I'll be brief. I don't have any prepared remarks. Ms. Fox talking about Gary's legacy. My wife is Gary's niece. our family's still reeling from the loss of Gary. But one thing we know is that Gary was a fighter, and he fought this prison with everything that he had, and we're going to continue that fight. Well, I'm here tonight to ask you guys, as you consider working with the state, and I understand that you guys have a responsibility to the citizens here of Ozark, and you do have a rather large bill looming for some water repairs. But remember why you passed that resolution 25-1. Remember that whole process. Everything that happened then is still happening today, from them using back channels to try to get you guys to the bargaining table. They're not even being forthright, like Councilman Melton said. That's what got them in this situation, is everything's been behind closed doors, everything's been in secret, and it still continues to this day. I know you need these water improvements. There's a lot of customers on the river south too. There's ways, I appreciate I'm a civil engineer by trade, so I was very interested in the bond guy, his talk, because it is interesting how to fund things of that magnitude. But there's a lot of customers that use Ozark water, and that cost can be spread out over a lot of people, not just the 1,690 or whatever the number was of meters that we have here in Ozark. There's hundreds, there's thousands of other customers. There's more ways to do this than to get in bed with this prison. I'd also ask you to consider what this will do to the future of Ozark. So if these improvements are made and all this money comes in from the state and the system's upgraded, there's a new water treatment facility, new lines to the river, river south picks up, goes south to the prison, that lake can only produce so much water. It can only hold so much water. It can only have so much water taken out of it. If Ozark elects to go to the table and come to an agreement with the state to take that water to this 3,000 bed prison with 800 employees, what does that do for any potential for future business growth for this community? What you've done, if this is the route that you choose to go down, what you've effectively done is you've just put a belt around Ozark and said you can't grow anymore. The next time a Baldor wants to come in and build a new manufacturing facility, I'm sorry, we gave all our water to the prison. The next time that the turkey plant wants to expand, I'm sorry, we gave all our water to the prison. These are potential business that come in that could be a great thing for this city. Am I up?
Yep, you're
Okay.
up.
Thank you.
Sorry. Okay, John Jackson.
I feel like I've studied this for a year. I waited for this moment. Because I knew it'd come. Because everybody knew it'd come. Because anybody with any common sense knows that you were the ones that had the water to start with. They put it in their own report. Okay? Gonna try not to be emotional. I've called each one of you, got hold of each one of you except for one. Thank you for your time. Okay? I want to talk to you, not at you. Okay? The state has done this wrong. This has never been about Ozark. It's never been about Charleston. It's been about Franklin County. They attacked us, okay? And when they tell you this prison's gonna happen, you know why they're telling you that? Because they're on their last straw. You're the only people that stand between them and this being gone. They've went to Fort Smith. They've drilled wells. They've looked at coal mines, okay? They've looked at storage tanks. They're desperate. You can shut them down and this will go away, okay? I'm telling you the truth. I've studied it for hours and hours and days. You know why? Because I live directly across the street, okay? Their driveway touches mine with a road in between, okay? Something else you need to know. I truly believe this. The reason they want that letter gone is so they can use you as a trophy. They will say, look at us. Franklin County is for this. The city of Ozark caved. They have been telling a fib all along. That's what they're trying to do by getting that resolution removed. You do not have to remove that resolution for them to talk to you. That's insane. Why would you have to remove a resolution for somebody to pick up the phone and have a call with y'all, okay? That's not the truth. They don't have to have that relation. It's a political, theatrical move on their half, okay? I guarantee you that's what's going on. Something else that's extremely important to everybody to understand. That water is not in that budget. It never has been. $200 million, let's go conservative. Let's say it's only $100 million to get that out there, okay? Because that's real. Y'all need 23 plus 80, 10 to get it across the bridge, whatever that takes, 50 to get it out to the property. That's $150 million to $220 million. Those are real numbers. I've studied it and studied it and studied it, okay? It's not in their budget. So even if you talk to them, they don't have the money to do it. So all they're doing is sacrificing y'all for their good. Everybody will learn the truth in about 6 more months when they realize it's like, okay, there's only $34 million in that contract for water. That's the on-site treatment system, okay? That's my observation of the project as a whole. I've been fighting this from day one. Last question for you, and this one is personal. Would you be okay with your granddaughter being 9 years old getting off the bus at a prison? Because that's what you're doing to me if you give them the water. Okay? That's what you're doing to Joe.
Or your granddaughter living 100 feet
Okay?
from the property.
Ronnie Duggar. He's not back there. Okay. Marilyn Moore. Hang on, give me a second. Having to work. Okay.
Start your timer.
Whenever you start talking, I will.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council. I'm one of the first people who came to you and asked you to pass the resolution in the first place. And I stand here today and say nothing's changed. In fact, we know more today than we did when we first came to you. We know that there's no water there. We know that they don't have the money for it. We know that the RDOT have done a study of the roads and that they need $500,000 per mile at a minimum for every road that needs overlay. They don't have that in the budget either. I agree with John Jackson, who said that they're gonna put a spin on any letter that you send them. And they're going to put that out like, yes, this is an invitation from Franklin County. Does that make sense? Second, I would say, I agree with the gentleman who said there's only so much water in the lake. I am a River South customer. Effectively, I get some of my water, all of it really, through Ozark, right? Because it comes from River South. Great water, I love it. I'm okay with paying a higher rate to make sure that I continue to get that good water. But what I'm not okay with is paying additional money to send water to that prison. I'm downright against that. And whether it is paid for at the meter, at the water meter, or through your state taxes, people will pay. Because at, say, $74 per inmate, that's $222,000 per day. That's $82 million annually that's going to be collected from Arkansas taxpayers. So regardless of how the water is paid for, we all pay, not just Ozark residents. Thank you. I want to thank all of you for standing firm in your decision and asking them they've got to reach out to you first, because I'll promise you one thing. Our governor and her team has done exactly what they wanted to do, when they wanted to do it, and if they had wanted to contact Ozark, they dang sure would have already done it. Thank you.
Okay, Sarah, you're up. Oh,
Mayor.
Sarah Douglas.
Mayor, I apologize. I think I may have been after JB, but I did not know that you had the right, you were going to speak. I don't want to jump in front of this gentle lady, but. My name's Brian Cooper.
What's your last name?
Cooper.
Did you mark to go? To be,
Oh, it's right here. See, we have. Because we did, yeah. We
the
have,
council will have to vote to allow you to speak if they want to do that. But the next speaker is up.
in the last meeting, we didn't,
Huh?
the meeting that you weren't here, we didn't let people.
Right.
Because they didn't do it before, so.
Right.
I'm
That's
just
what the
saying.
rule is.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Sarah. Sorry, this is Sarah Douglas. I've known her forever, so that's why I just said Sarah. Sorry.
I was surprised you didn't call me Sarah Jane.
I almost did.
That's how you know if someone knows me or not, whether
Yeah.
they bust out the Sarah Jane or just Sarah. Franklin County resident. I get my water through Denning Water, which also comes from Ozark Water. My grandmother and my uncle live in very close proximity to the proposed prison site. So when you said that you understand, no, you don't. It is impossible for you to feel fear about what will happen to your 86-year-old grandmother or your a few years younger uncle. There's no fear like that about who that person is driving past her house. She's 86 and she should be able to feel safe in her home. So until you know it, you don't know it. I would also like to point out, no phone call is anonymous. It's 2025. You can always find out who's calling you. Always. I don't answer my phone for nobody. You gotta leave me a message. You can always figure out. If I don't know that number, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna see who that is calling me. If I can't trace who that number is, they didn't really call me. They didn't want to talk that bad, did they? No, they didn't. I would also like to point out that if we put in a prison, our tax revenues are gonna go down. I don't know how y'all can spin a prison town. Come to our prison festival. It's not gonna really bring in a lot of folks. Unless we wanna do a prison rodeo and we might be able to sell some shirts. I don't know that a lot of people feel like they feel safe enough to go, but we might be able to hawk some stuff. Let me see. I wrote down notes. I don't want to be repetitive on stuff that other people have touched on. The only thing that I can really think of besides the decrease in tax revenue, because people will quit coming here. Because I don't want to live here, even in a prison community. Everybody's real estate's going to take a dump. And if you cannot count on your investment in your property, you ain't got nothing. That's why I fought the hog farm years and years ago. Because everything that I have done, I purchased property. My home, I own it free and clear. Who wants to live next to a hog farm? Nobody. Everything that I've put my money in, useless. Same for everybody over there that has had generation upon generation of farming. That is, who wants to be there? I don't even want my grandma living over there. I can't guarantee her safety. So we're all going to suffer. And whether or not we pay it in a tax increase or a rate increase, we're gonna pay it on the state taxes that go through the roof. Because this is going to be the biggest investment in this state historically, period, bar none. And I would rather pay a rate increase than pay for something that will be there for infinity, and it will. They don't shut them things down. It's not a 20-year lease. It's there for the rest of all of our lives and our grandkids' lives.
Okay, Sarah, your 3 minutes is up.
Oh, sorry. We know I can rant.
I couldn't do it,
Sir, I do want to tell you, according to our ordinance, you do have to sign in, and where it has public input, and I'm sorry, but we just had a council meeting last month, and but I got to follow our ordinance. I'm sorry. Unless the council, do y'all, that's up to y'all. It's an order, what do you?
You'd have to have a motion to suspend the rules and
Yeah.
add him.
Okay, but shaking head no. Okay. Before we do our public input, or not public input, I'm sorry, announcements. I do want to thank each and every one of you for being here, and someone said it a while ago, and I do believe it was probably Cody. Cody and I have had several conversations, and the key to all of this is communicating, and there may be times, just like Kathy was saying, you know, people say things, if you don't hear it from the horse's mouth, and trust me, Facebook loves for me to say things that I've never even said or even heard of, okay? So you have my telephone number. If you don't, it's 209-1299. If something sounds off the wall, I need you to call me, okay? I will answer my phone. The statement, I realize it is 2025, but Marla can testify to this. Susan will as well. You all do not understand the number of phone calls that come up in our office, and right across it, it says anonymous. Does it not, Marla?
Right.
Yes, and we do not have a way to go back and get it. Because, trust me, I promise you, I would find out. But thank you. And that is the important thing, is because we see each other. We go to church together. We go to the grocery store. We can't lose our community. We have to stay talking about it, okay? Getting mad over it, not speaking to somebody. Guys, I've had enough of that. That's childish. It shows immaturity, and we're better than that, okay? But thank you. Thank you for the people that have made your way here tonight. I wish this room was full every council meeting. I really do. It'd be nice. Oh, yeah, probably. So, just a few announcements here. The haunted house in the city was absolutely fantastic. Devin gave me the total was $5,136 that was raised for Shop with a Cop. And that's just the one that they had here. I have not gotten a total yet from the sheriff on the one downtown. So you all can imagine how many kids are going to have a brighter Christmas, and thank you for that. City offices, as you've heard me refer tonight a couple of different times, will be closed tomorrow. There will also be a free meal tomorrow evening, November the 11th, sponsored by the Ozark Open Table at the Gardner Building from 5 to 7. And that is not just for someone needing food. That's going to give you an opportunity to be an outreach for someone. You may have that connection, or to be able to touch the lives of somebody that may just need a smile, may just need somebody to know that people do care, okay? The Model Cafe auction will be Tuesday night, November the 18th. There will be 3 days beginning in November, the 24th, 25th, and 26th. What?
Thursday the 13th, what it says on the sign.
What did I say?
Tuesday the 18th.
Okay.
Early voting starts.
That's another, yes, okay. But now, yes, the food is tomorrow night.
The Model Cafe,
Yes, the Model Cafe is the 18th.
no, 13th,
It's the 13th.
Thursday the 13th.
I got too many things going on, so you're right, it is the 13th. Sorry, that was my fault, thank you. And I sure needed that corrected before KDYN in the morning. Let me make a big note. Thank you. The 24th, 25th, and 26th of November, Brooke, our community center director, is going to be running a 40% off a full membership of the community center. So take advantage of that. City offices will be closed Thursday, November 27th and November the 28th. November will be ending quickly, and I'm glad to see December get here. December the 15th will be the last, or the meeting to where if people are coming asking the council, the city for money, which would include the chamber, Main Street, Senior Citizen Center, Area Agency on Aging, that meeting is December the 15th at 5:30 in this room. Have I forgot anything with Main Street? Yeah, it is. I think that's it. Does anybody else have, y'all got anything I need to announce that I will
Was you
tell?
gonna mention voting?
Yes, that was not on my list, but November 18th is the voting for the entertainment district. Early voting starts. 12th. Thank you, the 12th. So you had that opportunity. There's no excuse to not go vote. And if you don't vote, I'll just tell you, well, we'll leave it at that. I need a motion to adjourn, please.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Need a second?
Second.
Start, please.
Meyer.
Yeah.
Minor.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.